Welcome back to Kitchener, Ontario for the 2018 Border Battle. John Evans here with Chris D. Up here in the wonderful observation booth. Twos, Patty D, and Erica. Send a big shout out hi to everybody, as we do to you as well. Thank you for joining us here in one of the more anticipated matchups, Chris, in this weekend. We have Team Canada senior men's team here playing the Kahunaverse East team, which is coming off a tremendous comeback win on the back diamond against the Reccu Farm team. Chris, maybe fills in a little bit in that game before we...
Earlier on they played Reccu Farm and Kahunaverse East. It was 27-12 at one point, and Quebec had used all of their home runs, and this was in the fourth inning, and Kahunaverse East came back and chipped away, battled back, and they got to within, I believe it was 29-28, and Wayne Perron hit a walk-off two-run shot to win that game 30-29. So Kahunaverse East is coming in with great momentum, and hopefully they'll make a game of it with Team Canada.
Speaking of Wayne Parent, number 4, the familiar number 4, shirt untucked, cleaner of the box, is going to start things off here for the East, who will be the visitors in this game today. We'll run through the Team Canada lineup through the first couple innings here, let you know who's starting and who's playing. First ball made by the second baseman, Curtis Niebel. Chris Parr is on the mound. Goulet behind the plate. Dave taking up a familiar spot there with the high socks. That's the first out here for the East. It sends us to Mike McLeod. Swings at the first pitch from Chris Parr and hits a lazy fly ball here to center field. Caught by Steele Lewis out there in center field in a familiar spot. Chris?
Yes, Steele will be manning center field throughout the weekend for Team Canada. In left is Hunter Platten. In right field is Justin Pennell. Infield, Dustin McLaughlin at third. Colin Andrews at short. As Lee Bellefontaine hits one into center field.
First base hit here for the East.
Jeff Zanoli's playing middle infield. Curtis Niebel was already mentioned at second. Jeff Andrews at first. Chris Parr pitching, and David Goulet behind the plate.
Pat Severin stepping in the box. Catcher E.H. for the East in this game. Wearing his familiar 42. Looks like he hit it off the end of the bat. It's going to be a lazy fly ball there to Justin Pennell. Certainly a start that Grant Garrett and his coaching staff would be looking for.
Great start for Team Canada here.
The East throw up a 0. Certainly opens the door here for Team Canada, Chris.
Yeah, they'll come out. They'll assume they play the small ball. They'll have their designated home run hitters. But they'll look to get into an early rhythm, put up a big number. Have now that they blanked Kahunaverse East in the first, put up a number so they have the Kahunaverse East team chase them for the remainder of the game. So we'll see what happens. Kyle Renders, former Team Canada pitcher, is on the mound for Kahunaverse East, so he is familiar with majority of those hitters. And Kyle was on Team Canada last year when they won the border battle in 2017.
He'll be looking to try and control these Team Canada bats, who are coming off a 26-run performance yesterday afternoon against the Kahunaverse West squad. They'll look to continue their hot-hitting ways. It looks like Grant Garrett is settling in a little bit with the top of his order, with Jeff Zanoli leading off, Colin Andrews, Steele Lewis, Justin Pennell, who we saw out there in right field, getting that final out, Jeff Andrews, Curtis Niebel, Ron Nadalin, Dustin McLaughlin, Dave Goulet, Hunter Platten, and the pitcher Chris Parr will round things out. It looks like normally early on in this tournament, Chris, the Team Canada coaching staff likes to get all the players in and see if he can settle up on a lineup there for Sunday. It certainly looks like Reg has settled in, and certainly with his top 5, 6, 7 hitters. Made a few changes.
Yeah, he looks like he's added. He's switched. Kyle Nectar's out of the game. Ron Nattle is in. Hunter Planton is in as well. So for Danny Laprise, and yeah, we'll see how they perform. Again, I mean, it's a solid lineup throughout. So Grant is gonna see which Team Canada players are hot too, so that he'll consider them moving forward this weekend.
Defensive alignment there came back to bite the East team as they decided to give the lineup for Jeff Zanoli, who is known as kind of a gap-to-gap guy, great hitter, but ended up just kind of throwing his hands at that one, Chris, and hits a double down the third base line to beat the defensive switch they had going on there.
Just quickly on the infield for Kahunaverse East, it's Wayne Perron at third, Lee Bellefontaine at short, Mike McLeod in the middle. As Colin Andrews hits one directly to Ryan Yakura in left field, makes the catch, throws it back in. Zanoli tags the second, goes into third. At second base for Kahunaverse East is Ryan Gates. At first is Mark Kucharski. Behind the plate is Pat Severin. Kyle Renders pitching. Ryan Yakura in left. Center field is Brian Bell, and playing right field is Cam Stewart.
Steele Lewis the plate.
And that is gone. 2-run shot for
off the backstop of one of the back diamonds. Not unexpected, Chris. I think not the ideal use of the homer, but after you get a goose egg, it's nice to put the pressure on the East.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, appears that Steele may have been given the green light there, so put up a couple and get Team Canada rolling here.
Sunshine finally breaking through the little bit of overcast we've had most of this morning. Justin Pinnell is going to follow up Steele Lewis's home run with a home run. Not ideal. I'm sure coaching staff, senior leadership down there in the dugout will be looking at that. If 3 runs off 2 homers is not most ideal. They'll be looking for Jeff Andrews here to get a base hit and change up Team Canada's current fortunes.
Sit right at Ryan Yakura in left field, makes the play for the second out.
Little notice so far today here compared to yesterday. Those early morning games, midday games, the ball wasn't really jumping as much. It seems to be jumping in the first few games we've had here this morning. The U.S. Futures at 9:30 put up 26 in a drubbing of the Kahunaverse West squad, and used up their homers to do so. Saw in the ladies game as well a couple home runs hit there this morning.
It is a couple of degrees cooler from yesterday, so one would expect the ball to be flying today.
Curtis Nebel, Kyle Renders being very careful here with him, as I would be too. As Curtis is quickly making his spot as known as one of the top hitters in our country. Full count.
Loads up, and that is
hoping to hit it off the mesh.
Nice throw by Brian Hoke.
The defenders didn't get back to second base to give themselves an opportunity for an out there, Chris.
It's hit hard, and Brian's a big boy. He's 6'5", and it just Curtis hit that on a line and it went over the head. Brian played it off the net perfectly, made a good throw to second, and almost had a play there.
Ron Nadelin up next, firefighter. Creates a lot of fires himself with his bat, known as a strong offensive output style player. Outfielder for Toronto Orioles.
Gapper should score. Curtis from second.
Brian Bell gets the ball in quickly. That changes things up a little bit. A double and a base hit. Plates a 4th run from Team Canada. Dustin McLaughlin stepping in the box, number 14 across his back. Wearing that helmet that we touched on a little bit yesterday, Chris.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was wondering why they were wearing helmets, and apparently Dustin had an accident earlier on in the year where I guess he was hit by a softball, and he wears a helmet from now on. And Jeff and Josh Sinoli also wear helmets as well when they're at bat. As Dustin flies out to Ryan Ukur for the third out. Ryan made all 3 outs in the first inning.
That's going to close out the first inning. So after one complete inning, the Team Canada national team is up on Kahunaverse East 4-0 as we throw it to these messages.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We had a bit of a rough start to the season. Mom! So it was time to update Dylan's gear. Kahunaverse.com had it all, including equipment and our team's custom clothing. Looking playoff ready, Dylan.
From prospect to pro, Kahunaverse.com.
Welcome back here to Kitchener, Peter Hallman Park. Bob Smith cleaning off the plate there for Team Canada pitcher Chris Parr. It's Ryan Gates, second baseman for the East, steps in. Team East will be looking to respond back here after Team Canada put up not a spectacular 4-run first, Chris. I think they would be expecting a little bit more from themselves.
As Ryan hits one deep into right field for a solo shot. Kahunaverse East on the board with their first run.
It's 3 solo home runs so far today, Chris, out of the 3 for this midday match.
I believe Steele was a 2-run shot, John. Is that correct?
You are correct.
Just in case our viewers are questioning us.
Yeah, for sure. We have things sorted out.
Absolutely.
2 solo homers out of the 3. Ryan Ukur, who made the 3 outs last inning, is stepping in.
Right up the middle. Just under Chris Parr's glove.
The aftershock leadoff hitter, multi-positional talent.
Ryan's a utility player for us. We can put him anywhere. We usually put him in the middle infield, but he can play anywhere in the field.
Gets it to Joel Tugwood, who had himself quite a day yesterday. Multi-home run day against Quebec as they walked off Quebec Kahunaverse East, winning in the 7th. To Hopper to Curtis Niebels as they throw the ball around real quick. And
did he call him safe at second? Ryan was safe at second. I guess Jeff's foot was not on the bag.
They are going to call Yak safe as Chris picked up on. It looks like Jeff Sinoli didn't get to the bag or maintain control of the bag and control the ball at the same time. So it's going to keep the inning going here for the East. 1 out. Mark Kucharski stepping in the box. Swings at the first pitch, and it's
short left field to Hunter Platten. Hunter's got a great arm, as Yak is well aware of, and he will not take the chance to tag from second to third.
Number 36, Brian Bell.
Brian Bell stepping in the box here. 2 out. Man on second. East looking for a little bit of
and Brian hits one.
Pop up on the infield. Called, and Team Canada gets out of the inning. So we're going to go to the bottom of the second inning. Team Canada holds a 4-1 lead here. Team Canada's going to want to put their foot down a little bit here, Chris.
Yeah, they'll definitely. Kahunaverse East thus far, they've come out a little flat early on in the game. They seem to get a little bit stronger as the game progresses. However, they are playing Team Canada, and I'm sure Team Canada is going to try to put up another number so that Kahunaverse can chase, in the third.
Yeah, Dave Goulet, Hunter Platt, and Chris Parr are going to be the first guys up here for Team Canada. A little bit of a lazy beginning or a little choppy beginning to this game. Chris, I think the coaching staff for Team Canada is going to want to see a little bit more sense of urgency, as we've seen with the U.S. national teams here early on in this tournament format.
Yeah,
Ball one.
Like to see the Team Canada get a rhythm here, get a nice rally going, manufacture some runs without utilizing too many, as that drops into center for a base hit.
Dave Goulet with a nice little base hit here to get it going for Team Canada. The start they're looking for after giving up one in the second. Hunter Platten, the left fielder in today's game. We'll be looking to extend Team Canada's fortunes here and get a little bit of a rally started. Hunter, of course, plays for the Alberta Oilmen, has a Canadian championship under his belt. Multi-time Team Canada player as well, Chris.
Part of the Team Canada winning team last year, and in Michigan he had a fantastic game that game. Huge contribution to Team Canada's win last year. And that is back up the middle.
At Dave Jones.
And
a little bit more fortunate compared to Sandy yesterday, taking the Bryson Baker one off the backside.
Now batting for Team Canada, the pitcher, number 77.
That's an important hole there, Chris, to really fill up either side of the pitcher there.
They've already used up 2 home runs. They want to, again, try to get 3 runs out of every home run hit. That's the benchmark, as most people would like to use. As Chris Parr hits it, this might be a double play.
Mike McLeod, make sure he steps on that base. Or sorry, that's Lee Bellefontaine.
Yeah.
Steps on that base, but can't get a handle of the ball to make a throw over.
Back to the top of the order for Team Canada for the middle infielder, number 10, Jeff Zanoli.
Yeah, they need to make those plays. You can't give Team Canada an opportunity to put up some more runs. They needed to make that out, so we'll see what happens. That double play, we'll see what happens now.
Jeff Zanoli, the leadoff hitter, is going to hit a fly ball at Ryan Yakura. Certainly trying to wear Ryan out today.
It's 4 outs for Ryan thus far. 4 putouts for Ryan.
Plate to run as Dave Goulet does come in. The pitcher rule there, for everyone that knows, Kyle Nechtel is the designated runner, so anytime there's 2 out and the pitcher's on, they'll put the runner in so the pitcher can come in and get any protective gear on that he may need to prepare himself. Helps with the speed of play. What have you seen here from Kyle Renders early on, Chris? He's known for controlling games. Is he hitting his spots as he wants?
Maybe just a little off, but he knows where he wants to pitch. He knows the majority of these players. He's played with them in past 5 years. He's very familiar with them all. So it's just a matter of Kyle hitting his spots. And as Colin hits it out, straightaway center, a long shot, a no-doubter.
Certainly a no-doubter.
Pride of Hanover, Ontario, Colin Andrews.
Gets it to Steele Lewis, the 3-hitter. Homered his last at-bat, a 2-run shot.
Expect something hard right now.
Saw it yesterday, Chris Steele
Yes.
smashed some balls hard into the ground, but he saw his open hole there and did not miss it.
No, he's the toughest out in Canada. And has also become a tough out in the U.S.
Certainly making a name for himself south of the border, as many Canadians follow him, and
Brett's been very happy with. I spoke to Brett yesterday, and he's cannot be more than happy with how Steele's performed. He's just, the motor doesn't stop. As Justin Pinnell hits it to left center, off the netting, Ryan plays really well off the netting, and Steele's going to come home and play it. No.
Ran through the stop sign there from Team Canada coach, but Steele Lewis ends up scoring standing up on a long, loud double by Justin Pinnell.
As I mentioned earlier, Brett said he has a motor that doesn't stop running, and as you can see by that gapper by Justin, he ran all the way from first all the way home. So to score the 8th run for Team Canada.
The Brett Chris is talking about is Brett Helmer, current Team USA head coach.
Jeff Andrews hits it right at Cam Stewart and over his head and gone for a home run. That's their
Another 2-run homer here for Team Canada in the inning. Talk how important it is to always move the board, Chris. Sometimes, regardless of using up those home runs, there is 10 here to get. So
Yes.
it's a little bit different than the 7 most of these players are used to having. So
it
that's
is
their
10-0. 4 home
4th
runs.
homer of the day. That could
And
be number
that's number
5. That's
five,
no doubter.
Off Diamond 2's fence. Yeah, Curtis doesn't look too happy.
No, these guys have a lot of pride. They don't want to get out, but at the same time, they're not selfish guys. They know the
No,
they know
agreed.
the enormity of this weekend, and
Absolutely. Like, I mean,
you know, every game's making a statement. You got targets on your back. You know, you're defending, coming back as a defending champ. The second time they've won it in 9 years. They know the target's there, so they certainly want to win. They don't want to make outs, but at the same time, they want to be smart hitters and do stuff for their team.
discipline ball to keep, you know, because they'll need that against the Americans, against Team USA, and the futures team tonight.
And some of these guys are fighting for the opportunity to start on Sunday as well.
Exactly.
Hard
Tough
hit
break.
ball just past Kyle. May have blocked out Mike McLeod a little bit. He did get down
Yeah, he
in
may have been
defensive
blinded
position.
by that. I guess he misjudged the hop there, but again, that was a hard hit ball by Ron Nettles.
What do you think of the depth that this Kahunaverse East team's playing? They're a little bit deeper than they were yesterday, but not playing as deep as some of the other infielders we've seen.
Yeah, Wayne Perron's pretty tight at third as Dustin hits it.
Dustin
Foul.
McLaughlin hits it foul. As Bob Smith puts a new ball into play. The pride of Ajax, Ontario, the preacher. And he's affectionately called here in Ontario. He does a lot of the high-end games.
Yes, he does. Another shot up the middle, just over.
I don't
Just
think
over
Kyle could be happy with that pitch, Chris. I think he wasn't looking to miss a little bit more in. Hopefully wouldn't allow Dustin to get his hands out on top to keep something in the middle of the diamond and have to pull it. Dave Goulet, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most underrated players in Canada, has been for some time finally getting his due.
Absolutely.
Dragged that Quebec team to a championship last year at the Canadians. Pitching, hitting, is a very integral part of that squad.
And that is a 3-run shot, I believe.
Goo hits a 3-run shot, making a visit to the Boneyard. Got to throw one of those in every once in a while, Chris. Keep some of your fans happy.
And our fans in the 705.
The Flips of the world, the DJs, Rick Taylor's, Rip, Darren Fricky. Hopefully Jeff Gare's listening in.
Where is Jeff Gare? As Hunter hits it out in left field.
Jeff Gare, I know, is healthy and well. Plays golf, I think, with Team Canada coach Todd Cadenhead and
Okay.
Darren Fricky and that on a regular basis. I think would like to get back in the game, but I think years of abuse on that body doesn't allow him.
We miss Jeff.
We do. Even the other Jeff. Une parlez française, Jeff Filardeau, Grubby. shout out to you as well, and your son Jackson, Avery, Addie, and of course Becky. Chris Parr is going to hit
drops in front of Ryan Yakura in left field.
Very much not a weak part of this lineup, Chris, but with any lineup, I think you kind of start from your top to your bottom, and you certainly when the bottom of the order comes through, as Goulet, Platten, and Parr have, Dustin McGowan as well so far. McLaughlin, sorry. So far today, it's a big push in the back.
Jeff hits the straightaway center. That is gone for the. That makes it 17-1. That is the 8th home run hit by Team Canada. Again, we'll see. As I said earlier, Kahunaverse East seems to come back later in the game, and we'll see if they can, cut it in half in the following. But again, Team Canada still at bat here in the second.
13-run inning so far here in the second.
Colin Andrew hits one right up the middle.
And Mike McLeod guessing a little bit there. I think he saw the pitch fading out.
Yeah, he jumped ahead of that, yeah.
We saw a 14-run inning from the U.S. ladies this morning, and we talked about how nice it is to watch innings like this. Kind of expected. No one's taking big gas going, oh, my God, look, they've scored this many runs, but impressive altogether. We have 2 out in the inning. Steele Lewis
keeping the ball in the park, preserving that.
That's a good sign, Chris. We have Steele Lewis who's going to make this offense run, certainly. Steele Lewis, Justin Pinnell, Curtis Nebel. You need those guys to go. Jeff Zanoli at the top. But seeing Steele locked in like that's got to be a big sigh of relief.
He's one of the Team Canada members who's a catalyst for the team to get the guys going and stuff. He leads by example as well, as you can see right there. He didn't go for the home run, which he could have easily done, as Justin Pinnell does, and hits it into the left field. Ryan throws it in a second, just as safe there.
What do you think's the speed factor here with Pinnell, Steele Lewis back to back? Going to affect the U.S. team? Are they going to press a little bit more or change their defensive lineups?
I'm sure they're cognizant of the fact that both, even Colin Andrews is lightning fast, a former football player at Wilfrid Laurier when he attended university there, along with Colin and Steele, as Jeff Andrew hits another one in the gap and scored 2 more runs.
I didn't want to knock the other guys. Colin Andrews certainly can move, and Jeff Andrews, as you see there, can. Curtis Nebel, certainly sneaky fast. Ron Nadalin plays a lot of outfield for the Toronto Orioles and certainly can close the gap down. So not that the Americans don't have speed. They certainly are blessed top to bottom, but it's certainly a part of Team Canada's game they could utilize.
Yeah, for sure. When they need to play the small ball, they'll need to manufacture runs that way, and if they're able to extend singles, when they have runners on base, guys can take extra bases with their speed, and I'm not sure if we've had that speed component in the past. It helped out last year a lot for us. So the Americans are well aware of it. They're well aware. Especially last year, both our teams, both Team Canada men's and women's team, beat Team USA men's and women's in the United States. And like I said earlier, both American teams, Team USA teams, men and women, have been extremely focused this weekend, and they're on a mission. They're looking to regain those titles and bring it back to the U.S. So,
what I read in there, Chris, your early statement with some of the older border battle teams is I don't think you think Jeff Filardo can run really fast. That's the only thing I really heard there.
I don't
know about the rest of it.
I'll let you read into my comments there.
Curtis Tuna Nebel coming to the plate. Louisville slugger swinger. Takes a tough strike. Certainly Kyle hasn't controlled the game as he had earlier in the first inning there. He did get Curtis Nebel to reach there for that one.
Nice dig there at first.
Mark Kucharski with a nice dig on the other end. However, it's a little bit later than anticipated as the Team Canada men put up a 16-run spot there in the second inning to make the lead 20-1. As we move forward here to the top of the third inning, we're going to throw it to a commercial message.
Also a reminder to visit our snack bar for fantastic hot dog, burgers, sausages. Deal meal at about 17.50 burgers, $4. We got it all. We'll see you down there.
Take one empty field, round up a group of players, add 3 bases, plus 1 home plate, throw in a softball, and add an umpire. It's not hard to get a game of softball going and to keep it going from the time you're 4 till you're 84. Softball. Get in the game.
Welcome back here to Kitchener and Peter Hallman Park. We want to make a little clarification as Cam Stewart here hits a high fly ball deep, but it's tracked by Justin Pinnell for the first out. Yeah, we just want to be clear. Jeff Grubby Filardo does have some speed. Chris had mentioned he had, I'd seen a Sonic open a little earlier, and Grubby certainly was able to get to it pretty fleet of foot, I think you had said, Chris.
Yes.
As we get to pitcher Kyle Renders.
My bad, Jeff.
It's a line drive, just fouled on the third base line. Tried to sneak it past the third baseman. So?
They need to get going. They need to somehow get a chip away. Hope if they can cut it in half, or just even put up 4 or 5 runs, get some confidence back in themselves. Again, they started off slow thus far in their first 3 games at Kahunaverse, so we'll see what happens here. As Kyle hits it to short to Colin Andrews. It's a nice throw.
Throws it
first.
across the diamond. Out number 2. It's Coach Don Beadle and Kevin Gowanlock, are looking for a little bit of spark somehow here to get their guys going as they're huddled by the opening of the dugout there. Wayne Pront's the perfect guy to get it going. Veteran, strong presence.
The pride of Bell River.
Wayne's not too excited with the call made there. Chris Parr 100% agrees with it. Wayne looking to make some noise here.
That is going to go out.
Wayne protecting himself there. Hits a solo homer to dead center. We're unsure sometimes, Chris, with those balls hit to dead center. We've seen certainly those jet streams. We've talked about them multiple times between the light standards and the scoreboard, and kind of between the 2 light standards and dead center, it's a bit of a dead zone. We're unsure every single time if they're going to go, and the same with right down the lines on both sides seem to be a little bit dead.
It is blowing right to left as Mike McLeod hits a short fly ball to right field. Justin Pinnell is under it for the 3rd out here.
Not going to be enough there, Chris.
No.
If they want to get back in this game, another 1 spot to get them to 2. Certainly the Team Canada is going to be happy with the 0-1-1
for sure
numbers that they're getting here on defense, as their defense seems to be getting a little bit settled in. Maybe a bit of confidence boost here for Chris Parr.
Yeah, Chris is making it easy for him. Chris is making the Kahunaverse East batters hit his pitches, and it's resulting in routine plays for the Team Canada.
I wouldn't be surprised here if we see Dave Goulet at some point get a chance to toe that rubber. I think Dave would be the backup pitcher on this squad. I think there's some benefit there, Chris, on a diamond like this, somewhere Dave wouldn't have played before.
For sure. I mean, he is the reigning 2017 Canadian MVP. As you said earlier in the broadcast, that he was the main reason for Farmer Parr last year winning the Canadian title, the MVP. He is their pitcher. He's their pitcher this year as well. I think he's a great pitcher. It'd be nice. It'd be great to see him pitch, get in there, get some exposure out here against these top hitters that we have. So.
And certainly a big shout out to that Quebec team. They battled all week last year to win that championship in their home province. The St. Jean's Huets of the world, Stéphane Chapdelaine. Very well done. Ron Nadelin, who's 2 for 2 on the day with a couple of singles. Known as an all-around good hitter. They're waiting for a ball to be thrown in play here. Ron Nadelin will be looking to continue on his hot streak.
Ron battling for a roll, and
let's see if it gets off the mesh. And it's going to clear the mesh for a solo home run. I think that's one trend that's going to be worth watching, Chris, is hitters here as they start to protect themselves on balls that they're not sure they want to hit or borderline strikes. A little bit more frequency of those balls leaving the ballpark from, guys just putting a good solid swing on it than we had maybe seen 4 years ago or even earlier in this tournament.
Yeah, they got a lead here. It's a huge lead. I mean, here we are in the bottom of the third. It is right now 21-2. I would assume that they want to get it to 20 at least, so to put the mercy into effect going into the fourth, if they can hold Kahunaverse East. Maybe that's the strategy right now. Yeah, they're down to their last home run. We'll see what Dustin does here.
A lead of 20 or more in the fourth is a mercy here. After 5 innings, anything 15 or more. So maybe that is the thought process, Chris. Get at least to that mercy number and put the pressure on the East, who are in the heart of their lineup. Lee Belafontaine, Pat Severn, and Ryan Gates will be hitting for them. Still a lot of work here to do. Nobody out. Base runner on first. Goo up. Home run his last at bat, a single in the second inning.
He may take this one out too. No, keep it in. Disciplined ball. Runners on first and second now with, look, it appears that Kyle Neck will be pitch hitting.
Kyle Nechtel, if he is pitch hitting, it looks like he's coming to the plate as Coach Grant Garrett has gone out to Bob Smith. With the change, Kyle Nechtel, right-handed hitter, Toronto Oriole outfielder, will be hitting for Alberta Oilman, Hunter Platten. What are you looking for here, Chris? What's the reason for the substitution? Does Grant want that home run? Does he want Kyle to hit a gap here?
I think with the lead that they have now, just to get Kyle some swings in, he may be in there for the home run. And he hits a hard shot to left center, which is staying off the fence. Kyle comes into second for a double.
Plates the run, that all-important 20-second run. Puts it that number to 20, Chris, the one number you were talking about.
Yeah, they're at the mercy now, and they'll look to add some insurance on top of the 20. Chris is able to hit it out. We'll see what his plan is here.
Chris with the fielder's choice, his first at bat, followed that up with a single. Looking to hit that off hole, right at Lee Belafontaine. There's that first out, Chris. We've seen it a couple times today. You get that first out when there's a bit of a rally going, and all of a sudden, next thing you do, you look up and you're out of the inning and able to hit, something the East side will be looking for here.
Yeah, for sure. But Team Canada will definitely want to avoid that, so we'll see what Jeff does here. I'll look for him to go gap to gap.
Jeff with his home run, his last at bat, a double in the first.
He gets it right to Ryan at the fence. Will score another runner from third.
Goulet scores. Kyle Nechtel moves up to third base on a fly ball out to Ryan Yakura in left field. The second out. Gets it to Colin Andrews. homer, single, a fly ball out so far today. Again, those infielders are quite tight.
They're very close, and Colin does hit a hard ball, so we'll see what Colin does here.
Mike McLeod, the 5-man, moving around quite a bit. As Kyle Renders misses with ball 4. Not something you want to do here, Chris. Put another guy on with Steele Lewis with a home run in the bank, plus 21. I think there's kind of no doubt what we're thinking of here.
Yes, Steele's looking to add 3 more.
See how his patience is here, if he's going to look for a very specific pitch. Kyle's going to try and keep him inside and see if he can get maybe a bit of an overswing here or reach over his head.
Wow. That's
A
all I
strike
gotta say.
call on a very questionable pitch there from Bob Smith
Big smile from Steele.
with the emphatic fist pump by the umpire from Ajax. Makes it a 2-2 count here. Kyle's able to throw a pitch he wants to throw here. Way inside.
Yeah, Kyle's not going to give him nothing.
Line drive to Ryan Gates for the 3rd out. As Steele Lewis lets Bob know what he thought of that strike call. Todd Cadenhead comes down the line. Wants to ask a few questions about where that pitch might be. Or there's a chance with Todd's age, Chris, let's be honest, that he completely forgot what happened 30 to 40 seconds ago. So he
Good
could be
question.
asking for where he is. And the direction is Kyle Nechtel. Replay here shows lining that ball off the fence. That played it a run and set up that Canadian big inning. So we need some run scoring
lead
here, right?
Going into the 4th, Kahunaverse now or never. But they have to get at least 2 to extend it into the 5th. I'm sorry, no, because then Team Canada can still put up.
Yeah, so it's
number
not.
in the 4th.
I don't think the East is really thinking about putting up 1 here to play or
No, they'll
getting past the Mercy by 1. Team Canada does have a homer left, so they're going to be
need
looking
the
for a
bat.
handful
They need
as
the battle
much as
back.
they can.
Yeah.
Little surprise here. Team Canada maybe must have a plan, maybe on a later game today, or Team Canada. Do they play on Sunday? They do 2 o'clock. Maybe getting Dave Goulet in on the rubber at some point might be in the plans already, as Chris Parr is going to continue here into the 4th inning.
A short fly ball into left field.
Kyle
Kyle's
Nechtel.
under it for the 1st out of the inning. Yeah, Chris has got him. Chris Parr, pitcher for Team Canada, has got Kahunaverse East completely off balance. He's mixing it up well, hitting his spots, switching speeds. He's just keeping guys off balance, and doesn't appear anyone can figure out, with the exception of Wayne and Ryan Gates.
Yeah, I think that's a pitch they've been swinging at, the one Pat just took there, a little inside or a little bit outside, but it is
That's a nice
missing the
hit by
strike
Pat
zone.
into center field. And has
Steele
himself a
rummages
stand-up
around
double.
for it a little bit. Stand-up double for Pat Severn, another aftershock player. Really turned himself into a heck of a hitter, Chris.
Yes, he has. He's played fast pitch back in the days at a high level. I believe he did play for Canada at one time as well. So as Ryan hits another one, and that will extend the inning at least. They're out of the Mercy now, so
Nice smooth swing. Maybe a little bit on the uppercut level, but they need runs.
yes, they do.
They need runs. Ryan Yakura, base hit his last AB. Not many colored in plates on this side of the ledger. But another home run for Kahunaverse East. as they
third
hit
home
their
run.
third home run of the game to Joel Tugwood, who's certainly quite capable of a similar style swing here, Chris.
Another aftershock member. That
And
is
that's
fair,
going to
and
stay
that is a
fair as
bomb.
it comes back a little bit
That is a
and
bomb by Joel Tugwood of the Kahunaverse.
hits it into the memorial over there. Rattles some bones out in the boneyard. A big home run. Free swinging a little bit here, Chris.
Yes, they are. However, they have hit 4 homes now, and they have 6 runs. Apologies, 5. Is that 5 home runs now?
We're going to double check what
Wayne.
I have going on. Wayne Perront had hit a home run. We didn't mark down properly,
we
so
did
they do
not.
have 5 homers. That one's on me, Chris. Mark Kucharski, known as Cooch around the park. He's added to the Toronto Oriole lineup this year.
Discipline hit up the middle for a single.
A place he likes to utilize in his game.
Yes, he does.
How about a for the Kahunaverse? Center fielder number 36, Brian.
Only one out.
Brian Bell coming to the plate here. 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The East team
Solid hit into right field.
looking to continue on the hot streak as they have beaten the 4-inning Mercy. So we will definitely be going to the bottom of the 4th.
Yes.
Brian
And
Bell.
Team Canada only has 1 home run left.
Yeah, I was going to touch base when they come up offensively that the talk, as we've talked, Chris, is everyone wants to get to 30, 35 runs is a pretty magic number. 23 is a good number through 4, but they're going to have to start manufacturing some stuff here with 1 homer left.
Correct. The Kahunaverse here is a little bit of a rally. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, they won't get Cam at 1.
Plate's another run. Cam Stewart can run down that line.
Looks like we have a pinch hitter coming up for Kyle. Bob Henning. Also aftershock member.
Another aftershock member. Bob Henning is going to hit for Kyle Renders, the aftershock pitcher. Quite a mix of aftershock, few Orioles. Lee from out the East Coast way, a natural in there, and Mike McLeod, Ryan Gates,
Darren Bell's
Matty
from
Pine.
out east as well with Lee.
From Game On Mobile, Logan Clote, another natural team member. Grant Garrett takes his slow walk out to the mound.
Lee and Darren drove 18 hours to come here.
1-8, 18
1-8.
hours. To be part of this event, that's the prestige it has and the excitement it has.
Yes. Kudos to them. Shout out to our Nova Scotia friends.
Lee Belafontaine, Chris, I don't recall off the top of my head, certainly a one-time Border Battle senior team member.
Yes, he was. I also remember Lee back in 2011 when I went to the PIF with Rice and Toole, I believe, and Lee participated in the home run derby along with Christian Dowling from Team USA. And that event actually was won by Luc Chauvette, just to give a shout out to Luc. But Lee participated in that, and he put on quite the show in Sherbrooke. As Bob hits it to the down
Kyle's
left field
drifting
line.
back in front of the fence, makes the catch for a loud fly ball out. We're going to go to the bottom of the 4th inning here. A little bit of work for Team Canada to do to see if they can end this game a little bit earlier, but we're going to throw it to a commercial message. John and Chris here back with you at Peter Hallman Park. Up in the booth here with twos, Andrew Tomasak, Patty De La Rocca rocking the tunes. Erica on the scorebook, keeping us straight with all the substitutions. And very proud and honored here to be representing Hawks Sports Network. They've been fantastic, the crew here, working the cameras, all the technical stuff, running the commercials. Very impressive work they've done, and allowed Chris and I to trip our way through some of these broadcasts. But we're proud to join you as we're joined by Justin Pinnell stepping in the box.
Back up the middle for a single. So I look for Team Canada actually here just to play some small ball, possibly load the bases, and then go for that walk-off grand slam.
Going for 4.
Going for 4.
Right, that's the number, going for 4. See how they get there. The start by Justin Pinnell makes things a little easier.
Start that they wanted.
Jeff Andrews, homer and a single to his game so far.
Oh, nice play by Lee.
Backhand flip.
Oh.
Fantastic play by Lee Bellefontaine.
Hopefully at some point here we'll be able to cycle back for a replay on that. But Lee Bellefontaine going in the hole, laying out, doing a backhanded flip to second base to
you see Jeff there. You'll see on the if you show the replay, like Jeff tried to sneak one past Lee, and Lee went all out on that and made a great play to get the lead runner. So
Curtis Niebel.
That is a line shot to center, which is caught.
Back-to-back defensive plays for Kahunaverse East. Maybe a little bit too late, but I guess if you're live in any kind of game here, Chris, you fight to the end.
Absolutely.
And Lee showing you the competitive nature of being an East Coaster. And Brian Bell with those locks flopping in the air to make a great catch and rob Curtis Niebel, who doesn't very rarely get out.
No, it was a hard hit shot, and Brian broke well on that, anticipated well, made the play, and hung on to it. So we have 2 out here with Ron Nadelin at bat.
Kyle Nechtel deep in the zone. High pitch, Patty Severin trying to convince Bob Smith to make the strike call. Ron
Hard
Nadelin's
shot
going
into
to
left field. Ryan
boots
right
it a
up.
little bit. Skipped
Yes.
off the grass there and didn't quite get it. As number 1, Jeff Andrews is going to chug a lug in and cut it down to 3 needed by Team Canada here. Something at task that's not going to be overwhelming for these Team Canada guys, Chris, to get another 3 runs, 2 out.
No. So
Doesn't really phase them. They know what they need to do. Some of the more clouds are rolling in here a little bit. Hopefully the weather stays off and you can join us for the rest of today's schedule. Up next is the U.S. men's team versus Kahunaverse West.
Dustin hits it, paints the line. That'll score another runner, make it 25-7. And
Ron Nadelin scampers in, the newly trimmed Ron Nadelin. Ran into him in the park earlier, Chris, and he's dropped some pounds. Good on him. Looks good. Feels good.
Great.
Enjoys his red wine, as we all do. As we get it to Goo. He's had a fantastic day. Base hit, home run, base hit. Has made some noise here, anchoring the bottom 3 of the lineup.
Yeah, David's looking to end the game right here, and they have intentionally walked him to pitch to Kyle Nechtel. And
Kyle's not going to like this too much, Chris.
That's going to fire up Kyle. He's ready. He's ready.
That's a tough thing to do, decide who you're going to pitch to in that situation. As you said, top to bottom, these lineups are strong.
You're talking about red wine. I thought only Bruce Matthews and Jerry DeChambeau liked red wine, John.
That could be the case. Bruce, one of our Canadian military veterans, a shout out to him, and actually competed in some sort of strongman competition, or has been the last couple years,
Has
and
he?
represented our country, I believe, last summer at an event and did really, really well. And Bruce is a fantastic athlete and a fantastic person. And wish him all the best. Kyle Nechtel has decided to say wrong choice. As Kyle Nechtel hits it, Chris, what do you have to add there? Anything to
when he saw David walk into first base, Kyle was ready to go. You could just see the determination on his face when he dug into the batter's box there. So, yeah, he's absolutely happy with that result. Good for Kyle.
impressed by Team Canada. That's 26 runs they scored yesterday against Kahunaverse West. Didn't get an opportunity last night with that rain out with the Futures team.
Right.
Came into the first game today here. Answered what the U.S. teams have been doing. They've been putting up some numbers and doing it emphatically. We'll see what the U.S. team has here to offer as they're going to meet the Kahunaverse West team, and then we flip back over to the ladies' games, USA versus OC, and then right after that, Team Canada again we'll see against Kahunaverse at 3:30 and 5 o'clock, and then please join us for later on tonight on the Hawk Sports Network for Team USA versus USA Futures and Team Canada versus the U.S. Futures. For Chris D, I'm John Evans. I want to thank Chris for being up here with me again. Hopefully we'll have him back at some point, either today or this weekend for sure. I want to thank him for all his input, and join us back here for the next game. Thank you.